Everything is back to normal at Schriemer's greenhouse in Otterburne after the fire early Saturday morning. The owner and operator of the greenhouse, Trevor Schriemer, says he was relieved to finally have natural gas flowing into the facility after struggling to keep his plants warm over the 3-day span without natural gas.
It's been stressful in terms of trying to manage this power outage. There's a human element that's involved in it. Everyone's tired. Everyone's been working around the clock, and a little concerned and frustrated about, potentially what might have happened. But at the end of the day, we're very fortunate. We've been very blessed in the sense that nothing really bad did happen. No one got hurt, and at the end of the day, monetary losses are only monetary losses.
Schriemer's greenhouse is very susceptible to cold weather. In fact, he says that if they wouldn't have had diesel-powered backup boilers, their greenhouse would have been completely frozen in 30 minutes.
This was indeed the perfect storm. A blizzard, high winds, very cold temperatures. Everything conspired against us in the greenhouse. If it would have been minus 10, even with diesel backup, the boilers would have had no trouble. But because it was so cold and so windy, everything conspired against us being able to keep the kind of temperatures that we needed to have inside the greenhouse.
Schriemer said the temperature did drop to around 17 degrees from the normal 22-degree mark that is needed to keep the plants producing at optimum levels. He says none of the plants died, but he did say that many of his plants aborted their fruit. Even though the situation could have been much worse, Schriemer says he's still on the hook for lost fruit on his 40,000 plant operation, plus the additional $30,000 he had to spend on diesel fuel. The good news is that so far the talks between Schriemer and TransCanada Pipeline have been very positive, and he says it sounds like they'll cover all the expenses that were incurred over the 3-day span. And what is even better news is the fact that Schriemer didn't lose his livelihood for the second time in just over a year.
Well, my first reaction at 1 o'clock in the morning, because I heard the explosion, and as I looked out of my window, I saw this massive fireball. My first thought was, how can this be happening? My greenhouse is on fire again on the 1-year anniversary of the first fire. It quickly became apparent after a couple of minutes that was not the case, but the whole skyline was completely on fire, and it looked like everything was burning in this area.
Schriemer has now been up and running the past 2 months since his operation was burnt on January 23, 2013. Reporting for Steinbach Online, I'm Kevin Geisummer.